Hello, users! I'm screaming. I am enraged. I am filled with rage. And I don't know why. But, I'm once again live streaming. And, so I've got some Q&As, not to be confused with QAnons, from the live viewers. And I'm going to answer those QAnons, not to be confused with Q&As. Lilith Matthew says, do you have any friends, online or in real life? I have many, many friends. I am a very friendly person. I probably have too many friends, some would say. I feel like I'm not a good friend because I have so many friends. I can't give everyone the love and care that I wish I could. The webcam has fallen. New sequel to Olympus has fallen. Daniel S., do weapons and armor drop in that game, or do you have to purchase craft them? That's what I've been picking up the whole thing. Freak Glitcha, ranking animals from best to worst. I refuse to participate. All animals are my friends, unless they hurt me. Dev J, can I be your online friend? I don't know, maybe? That's possible. Who knows? Lilith Matthew says, talk about your spirituality. You're gonna have to ask a little bit more of a directed question. I meditate sometimes. It's cool. I think people should be more in touch with their surroundings, their environment, their friends and family. You need to get off of autopilot and look and examine the world for what it is. Oftentimes we are just creatures reacting to stimuli and not actually conscious of what we are doing. But unless you ask me like a more directed question, that's the best I got. Holy mackerel. I'm gonna die, dude. Wait, can I just portal out? Yes, I can. Chicken Seal, a relative of mine tried to red pill me by showing me Noam Chomsky as some boogeyman, and I actually just ended up enjoying what I saw of him. What is your opinion on Chomsky? I like Chomsky. He's good. I'm trying to think of what else to say on that, but I don't know, he's good. A lot of people, I guess, view him as some like deity, which is that's dumb. And a lot of people like treat him like he's infallible, which is dumb. And then also conversely have a lot of people that like hate him forever because like he said Biden is better than Trump or something, which I think are both absurd. Like with most people, you know, you can respect them. And then also you're capable of disagreeing with them. But I would say overall he's pretty good. Freak Glitcha says, what about bad animals like scorpions? Are scorpions animals? I thought those were insects. And I don't consider insects animals. I'm sorry? Insects can get the bullet? Lilith Matthew, you mentioned exploring spirituality. What does that mean? Do you have any thoughts on God? What I mean by that is I think people need to be less concerned about the state of the world in a way. Like a lot of sources of depression or anxieties are from things going on in the world, whether it be on a global news scale or like, you know, you have a, you know, abusive parent or something. I think a lot of people would benefit from being able to detach themselves from the world as they see it in order to put themselves in a more like kind of just like in a different kind of worldview. So like meditation, for example, the ability to kind of ignore anything that's kind of making you upset, and just kind of be one with nature in a way. That kind of thing. Do I have any thoughts on God? I don't really believe in God. I believe in the idea of a God, but I mean, outside of that, my game crashed. Wonderful. You love to see it. This is the part where I have to wait for the game to validate, because Path of Exile decides to crash and then saying, I'm not so sure if that's the correct version of the game. So give me a second here. Q, do you believe there are external life forces observing, directing, creating us? No, I don't. Who is going to live longer, Chomsky or RBG? Oof, that's a good question. I'm going to go Chomsky just to root for the home team. Chomsky is good at making certain ideas from the left accessible from a broad audience. Agreed. Him saying Trump is worse than Hitler was pretty dumb. I disagree. I agree with him on that. I think Trump is worse than Hitler. I think disagreeing with that statement is not accepting the analysis. Like, you can't, like, whenever people say Hitler, they have this knee-jerk reaction of Hitler in 1945, you know, killing Jews in concentration camps. That's like Hitler didn't spawn out of the ether and say, oh, look at all these camps, I'm going to start killing everyone now. Like, Hitler was, like, around for a few decades prior. And so that is the kind of source of that comparison. It's not saying Trump is Hitler in 1946 if they're what, you know, like, that's not what that is. It's Trump is worse than Hitler in the sense of Trump already inherited a global weaponized empire, so don't really have to build one when it's already there. And then also the climate disaster, the billions of people that will die because of the lack of any direction on climate change. I think that is a pretty big deal. But yes, so I disagree, Freaklitcha. I think Trump is worse than Hitler. Owls, I missed owls. Owls are great though. I like owls. Cloud, we are likely just living in a computer simulation, although if you pop out far enough there is something real. Yeah, I don't really know what that means. I don't get the whole computer simulation thing, because that just, like, it doesn't answer anything. It's just kind of like moving the goalpost and kicking the can a little bit. Like, okay, we're in a computer simulation. Okay, who made the computer? Alright, boom, now we're back to square one. Like, we haven't accomplished anything. So, I don't know. That's not really the kind of avenue I'm down. IDK, I developed a lot of problems with maladaptive daydreaming from childhood trauma. So, there's nuances to the detaching ourselves from reality. I mean, obviously, if you're doing something like too much or whatever, or in bad context, I mean, that can be problematic. But I mean, I don't think that is the case most of the time. Dev J, the first time I heard you saying hello users, I thought you were saying hello losers. Yes, I'm still learning English. Well, that's actually secretly what I've been saying the whole time. So, what if they kill each other in an old-fashioned pistol duel? Who? Trump and Hitler? Or Trump and Biden? Because either way, I'm here for it. So Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Reagan, Peanut Guy, Ford, Nixon, Johnson, etc. are all worse than Hitler. I mean, you know, kinda. I don't know, the idea that Hitler is some immutable worst person in the history of forever and can never ever be toppled. Hitler is like the quintessential like yin to a yang or whatever. Like, whichever one is the good. I don't believe in that. I think everything is nuanced. And in a lot of ways, things are worse than Hitler. In a lot of ways, things are better than Hitler. Okay, like, I don't know. It's just, I think anyone who puts up the U.S. empire and hands it off to Trump without any safeguards, Obama, I think they're probably a terrible person. Does that mean they're worse than Hitler? Probably. I mean, what's worse than Hitler? Knowing Hitler is going to exist and giving him the tools to do things? Or being Hitler himself? I don't know. The pea-brained take. I disagree. You're not even American, Freak Glitcha. Get out of here. Go back and try to get independence over and over again. We actually became independent, unlike Scotland. We're controlling the whole world now. And y'all are just chilling there, having to do what the UK tells you to do. Like beta soy boys and cucks. You could argue the damage done by the ideology Hitler promoted and developed was just as responsible for the current situation by the same logic, says Bats. But these comparisons aren't that useful in absolute state. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, that's what I'm saying. You have to compare everything, like, with nuance. Like, the idea that, like, there's, like we're playing, like, Super Smash Brothers, and there's, like, a tier list, and, like, Hitler's, like, Jigglypuff or something. It's like, I don't know about that. Doesn't matter who's worse. Who's worse, this Hitler... Wait. Doesn't matter who's worse, this Hitler bitch is dead. Okay. Yes, that's correct. Hitler is dead. So as of this current moment, I think Trump is worse than Hitler because Trump is still alive. Don't take that out of context, though. But also, of course, the funny thing is, like, Noam Chomsky said Hitler, like, Trump is worse than Hitler, like, with a big, grandiose, like, reason as to why, but people just ignored that part and were like, oh my god! Oh my god! Destiny would be proud of this Hitler rehabilitation? Maybe. That's possible. Do you think YouTube will censor Carlson like they did with Alex Jones? I don't care. I'm not going to answer that. I don't care. What the hell did Scotland do? That's a good question. That's a good question. What did Scotland do? Nothing! Stephen Miller is like Eichmann and Steve Bannon and is like Gables. Yikes. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of comparisons. Like, that's the thing, is like, it's kind of a useless thing to say. This is compared to that as far as, like, again, like, they're Super Smash Brothers characters. And like, ooh, Jigglypuff versus Link or whatever. I mean, who cares? What you have to really analyze are the comparisons, how things became a certain way, and etc., etc. Chicken CL says, I think creating Hitler as the ultimate enemy of mankind basically creates a false dichotomy that excuses and hides our governments and leaders' crimes in an awfully convenient way. I agree. King Herod, historical pioneer. Herod was known for flinging sausages. I'm not sure if I want to be in the splash zone for the sausage flinging. Yo, I'm getting owned here. Yo, did the music stop that I hit the end of the loop? Holy shit. Hold up, everybody. We're now in the no-go zone. I don't normally go here. I'm getting Harbinger items at the bottom left. That's wonderful. Joe Friedman, public urination, pro or con? I think public urination is fine as long as your genitalia is not exposed. So if you're like peeing in a bush, you know, have at it. Now, if you're peeing in an area that, you know, isn't, you know, soil-based or plant-based, then there could maybe be problems. But I mean, for the most part, like, who cares? I think what it's really, you know, Like, I think if, so, like, I've peed outside before, like, you know? I'd get too drunk in the city, and then, like, before I could go home, I'm, like, wandering through the woods, and I'm like, you know what? No one's here. Like, who cares? So, I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Trump is Waluigi? Oh my god. That's good. Hold up. Okay, Jimmy Dore, Chris Hedges, Cornel West, Nina Turner are speaking tomorrow at a convention for a new People's Party. Will you watch? I will not watch. Though if I'm given clips, like if y'all want to send me clips or whatever, I'll look at them and I'll maybe make videos on them. But I will not watch that live. If you want to hear my opinion on a People's Party, I think if your only focus is on the presidential election, then sure, a People's Party makes sense. But if you're trying to say a People's Party makes sense down ballot in all 50 states, I'm sorry, but that's just delusional. So I think the idea of a new party is a little... I don't care. But I'll watch, like, clips if I see them. Like, I'm not against any of those people, and I appreciate the passion. I just think, instead of making a political party, we can just have what's called the People's Party not be a political party and just be, like, in politics. You know, like it doesn't need to be a party in opposition to the Democrat or Republican Party. I don't know. It's just kind of a... I just think it's kind of ignoring the real problems here. Party corruption is a problem, but it's not more important of a problem than other things, in my opinion. Oh, there's a fucking gnat in my chambers. I hate them. Waluigi just stands for wet ass Luigi. That's probably true. I will take your word on that. Tatters says, what if I piss in the corner of an elevator? Like, again, like, if it's not, like, if the piss isn't going to go away on its own, then I understand that there's a problem there. Like, if you're causing a mess for someone else to clean up, then I think it should be outlawed. But if you're peeing in the middle of a street, I mean, who cares? Like, the street's got more dirt on there than from your little urine speckles, you know? Not to be confused with other forms of speckles. I agree that asking if you live in a commuter simulation seems to move the goalpost, and that it seems like a meaningless, unimportant question. Yes, that is what I said. But then isn't the question of whether God exists in the first place an equally meaningless? It doesn't matter. Exactly. See, you're nailing it here. That's why I said before I don't really care about God. To me, that's missing the point. We could be in God's computer or in God's little physical science experiment kit that his mama, God, bought him. What difference does it make? Exactly. We're on the same page. Bats says, it's kind of meaningless. Yeah, IMO. Whenever you can't give arguments that support a hypothesis and thus there can't be counter-arguments that counter it, it doesn't make sense to argue for or against it. I agree. Eric Weinstein's Unity Party Twitter account got suspended. You love to see it. I love that. That's great. Banned due to cringe, I believe. I mean, what other reason would there be, honestly? Censored in the marketplace of ideas. Okay. However, I think my argument that we are likely living in a computer simulation is interesting, but unimportant. If people want to hear it, I mean, feel free. Post it right now. I don't mind, like, arguing about useless bullshit. I mean, I've been doing that shit for years. What if there existed a party, but party where the policies of the representatives were just voted on by the people that associated with the party. You know, like some kind of democracy. That'd be pretty good. This boss fight is a little cringy sometimes. Darius Jackson 3. Will we live in Biden's computer? An old Commodore with a diminished hard drive and a 3.5-inch floppy. I mean, I hope so. Come on, man. I'd hope so. That sounds awesome. I mean, think of all the shit that's in Biden's computer. Like, all the, like, deleted files that, like, he hasn't emptied the recycle bin for. You know, like, that kind of stuff. Dev J, if you could pick a current president, leader of another country to be president of the U.S., who would you pick and why? I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna go full cheesy mode and just say Bernie Sanders. Like, I'm not gonna think about that too hard. I don't know. I thought that was a pretty good possible get, so I'm sticking with it. Point to the Bernie signs. Bernie or bust. Or whatever. I do get the Speckles reference. Don't worry about it. Cloud. Is it the Nick Bostrom argument? If so, then that is interesting, I agree. Although it is interesting IMO because of the logic involved in it. I love logic. Bernie needs to annex Canada and take out Trudeau? Backing that up, honestly. Enough people have seen Biden's 3.5-inch floppy. That's correct. That sounds like a good Twitter username. Biden's 3.inch floppy. Jesus. Cloud. It might be the same argument, though. I came up with mine independently. Oh, that's neat, says Bats. If you got a Discord, I can share the Bostrom paper with you if you want. Oh, now we're sharing papers. Holy moly. That sounds pretty cool. Cloud says, before explaining why we are likely living in a computer simulation, you first need to accept that a computer simulation of what we are experiencing will at some point be possible. Yes, I agree. Do you just accept that, or do you... No, I agree. I think anything is possible with computers, so... We're on the same page. Freak Licha says, Speckles! All caps! Question mark! Exclamation point. I have no idea how this harvest thing works, by the way, just in case you're wondering. I'm probably not going to even bother figuring it out. The Dread Thicket. Freak Licha says, I know a guy called Speckles. Why'd they call Speckles? What does Speckles offer? Does he offer any sort of services? Is it a hotline? Darius Jackson 3, Total Recall. Take your vacations in VR to survive Corona? God bless. I've never seen Total Recall. That's a movie, right? Ross Croson. I'm fairly new to your content, so are you excited for Diablo 4 at all? Not in any capacity, sorry. How new are you? I've got a lot of new people here. A lot of people that are like, who's this? You know, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Speckles is a small orange man who lives in the village of Pumpkin Patch in South Africa 32 years ago. Uh-oh. Is that before or after apartheid ended? Where did he go afterward? Did he flee to America like Elon Musk? Den of Despair? I think pretty sure I've made that a Doom level name. That's no good. I disagree. Boom. Dead. Alright. I don't remember where I first saw you, says Ross Croson, but it was within the last 2 or 3 months. I watch a ton of left-wing channels, so I have only had the time to skim your stuff, but enjoy your takes. Thank you. Yes, I am, I would say, now again, I'm biased here, but I would say I'm probably the smartest person on the left. Now you can, you know, there's a lot of agree to disagree kind of material there, like you can, but I'm pretty much the smartest person, at least on the YouTubes. It's a leftist, so I would recommend unsubscribing from everyone else and then making 10 new accounts and then subscribing to them, subscribing to me with them, and then linking them all to your phone, so whenever I upload a video you get 10 notifications. That's what I would recommend. Baku posts an angry cat emoji. Please be nice. Well, unfortunately, Ross Croson says, as a giant Michael Brooks fan, that's a hard sell, but I have shared you with my bestie. I appreciate that. But sadly, the competition here is not going to start kicking in, as only one of us is still alive. But I'm trying my best to fill in that that very much so missing avenue of leftists that are funny and not dullards, and then also can talk about things that aren't politics. But unfortunately, that is a very, very small group of people. Speckles later led a coup in South American country with rich metal ore prospects. Oh my God. Oh no. Unsubbing, says Baku. Good. Owned. I watched that Milton Alamati new video. I watched that new video. Excellent. Interesting, but he is not a jokester. Yeah, he's not much of a jokester. That's true. Not everyone needs to be a jokester, but there must be jokesters. Ross Croson says, that gave me a pretty good laugh, so I'll concede for now. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. I love when people concede to me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that thing where I end the video, because I'm recording a video and streaming at the same time, so that way I can double dip, re-upload it, get that in there. But so thank you for watching. If you're watching the video version, continue watching the next one, And feel free to tune in to Andrea's Alive whenever I am broadcasting yet again. But I will be back in another video. And for the live stream viewers, I will be right here, and I will not leave whatsoever.